to live looping from a songwriting perspective and a live performance perspective that are kind of together because of the essence of live looping. Everything happens live. We're just not stopping the recording. We record this instrument and this without ever stopping, okay? Sweet. We're first gonna start, let me know if there's any questions. We're first gonna start with somewhat of a hidden MIDI looper that is built in already in Ableton. Our first part of our class is gonna be using the session view right here, and then later on, we'll see how we can do a live looping performance, or even just coming up with musical ideas in the arrangement view, okay? But we'll start with the session view. Now, Ableton principle, how it started as a software back in 2001, was based on loops, and more specifically, to take any loop and be able to change its speed without changing the pitch. It was somewhat revolutionary at the time, real-time pitch, real-time time stretching. So the software in its essence is based on loops. And the session view right here can also be looked at, like many other things, as an extremely sophisticated live looper. Okay, you can have many different setups here for live looping. I have my guitar here, and I might even use this microphone for some vocals, okay? So you can see examples of real-world instruments, and this means the same for any other instrument you can think of, okay? It's divided to two parts. An instrument like guitar, this electric guitar, that is connected directly into my audio interface, okay, as an amped instrument, kind of like a direct in, okay? Or an instrument that needs a microphone in order to record it. It can be my voice, it can be an acoustic violin with no, or any other. Here I have a oud. I don't know if you guys see, it's like a Middle Eastern guitar. Doesn't have a pickup. I can't connect it directly. I'll need a microphone. So these two, microphone and this direct in, like plugged guitar, represent all the real instruments that we might want to record, okay? So it depends on your live looping. You might need a bunch of microphones because you have a whole room set up with a bunch of instruments, okay? Or you just need maybe an audio interface with a lot of different inputs and inputs, so you can connect all this instrument direct in, like bass guitar, okay, or electric guitar. Sweet. But we're also going to do some MIDI stuff, just stuff in the computer, which you can do a lot of amazing live looping. You don't even need real-world instruments to explore this live looping stuff. Can I close this? Okay, nice. So first, before we start into like the classic looping with the looper and stuff, let's see this kind of somewhat hidden even MIDI looper in Ableton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first, let's bring up my keyboard here. Okay, excuse my belly. Okay, let's put it here. Sweet. Here, I don't want to. Okay, nice. I'm going to load. Let's load electric piano. And if you excuse me, today it's not about Ableton, it's about live loop. I mean, it's not about like Ableton tools and stuff, although we'll use a lot of them. So I'm allowing myself to use some plugins for the sounds, okay? Usually I use only Ableton stuff, but just for the sounds, for example, here we have a nice electric keyboard. Let me load an instrument. It's really up to you what the instrument is. It doesn't matter. Right now we're talking about a MIDI instrument, okay? We're not recording anything yet. Sweet. Okay, nice. I have my keyboard here connected. And also, I'm going to just do one mapping here of this. Okay, this is called capture. And what this is doing is whenever I'm playing something, you'll see it turn on. And that means it's always listening to MIDI. I don't have to record. And when I click on it, okay, it's giving me that clip. So what I can do is I can go right here under MIDI mapping mode, or if you don't have a MIDI controller, you can also go into keyboard mapping mode, so I can map my keyboard to do the same, but I do have this. So I'm going to go MIDI, and I'm going to click capture right here. Okay, capture. And I'm going to click one of the buttons here on my MIDI controller. Actually, I'm going to go to a different bank. Here we go. I'm going to map it here. So you see right here, now it's mapped, and I also have it written here what's mapped. Sweet. So MIDI mapping mode. Click on whatever you want to map. Click on the MIDI controller, what do you want to map it to? In my case, it's this button, and I can exit MIDI mapping mode, and I have this capture option mapped to my MIDI controller. And now what I can do is right before I'm finishing my loop, I can hit that, and it will start looping because of this capture. Let's go down an octave. Oh, I played, I don't want that extra in the beginning, right? So just play from the beginning. Okay, nice. Now what happens if I want to start adding more instruments? So let's get ready here. Let's set up a new MIDI track with a drum rack of some sort. I'm going to go with this new pack from Ableton Live 11, Golden Era Hip Hop. Yeah, whatever. Okay. And here we also have drums. Now I need a way to switch between the currently armed tracks. So I'm going to go back to MIDI mapping mode. And you'll see that a lot. We're going to do a lot of mapping today because we need to set up our live looping setup. I'm going to map the first one, although I don't need, because that's my starting point. So I'm not going to even map this. I'm going to map this to, let's say, this button, which is right next to the capture. Sweet. So now I have capture, and I have arm the next track. You see that? And I can play. Oh, I guess I have to go down an octave. Oh, you heard it. All right, it's organized differently. So we'll do that here. Nice. So now if I delete this clip, let's start again. I'm going to arm the first track. I'm going to play something. And this is too low for the keys. But when I switch to the drums, it's right the right octave that I want. So in order for me to not touch the octave up, octave down on the keyboard, I'll just do this. I'm going to go back to my electric keys. Let's call it electric piano. These are drums. I'm going to put a MIDI effect, pitch, and this will allow me to just transpose the MIDI. Let's take it octave higher. So I don't have to touch the octave higher. Nice. Okay. Let's do something. I'm gonna now turn on the drums. Okay, and then I can add another track, map the record button, continue as much as I want. Okay, it's up to you how many more instruments you want. You just have to make sure, you map the, I don't need this, you map the MIDI, arm, and you're good to go. Okay, so this is looping with the capture. It's kind of hidden, but it's a cool feature because it's built in already. Capture, we just use it for whenever we play MIDI without recording, it's great. And one of the benefits of capture that I love is if this is the first thing that you play in your project, you would also see that it set up the BPM for you, the tempo, however I play it. Okay, it was 86 just now. So if and of course it will follow if you already have a clip playing. So the drums won't change the BPM. It's only the first clip of your project with capture, which is another great reason of using that for looping. Okay. Any questions?
I have a quick question.
Yes, please.
I don't understand the listening capture button in relation to that you mapped it to the first pad. If you're also arming the tracks with the subsequent pads.
Right, so I have one pad that is triggering this button instead of me needing to hit the mouse right here. I'm clicking here. Okay, and that's kind of global in Ableton. I just mapped it. Same thing I can map, for example, I want this button to be the stop button, right? Same thing. Then I also mapped the arm button. Let's go back to MIDI, Command M, the map button to the next one. So whenever I'm done looping the first, I can then arm the next and start looping the next one. So the first one is the looping itself. The second pad is arming the next track. So I'm ready with the next track. And I'm going to do the same if now I have, let's say, bass. I'm going to go map it to the next pad. I'm going to exit MIDI mapping mode. Let's load the bass. Okay, again, so I'm, let's call this bass. Sweet, so I'm restarting everything by clicking here because I didn't map this. This is my starting point. I'm playing something. switching to the drums. Now I'm ready to play the drums. Oh, Wait, this one I have to do it again. Let's do it more rhythmic so I can follow, because we don't have a metronome, although I can keep the metronome on, but let's do something more rhythmic. Maybe here. Ooh, no. Let's capture it. Let's do. Okay, switching to the drums. I hit it a bit late, but doesn't matter. Still cool. Let's switch to the bass.